everyone. If you need help on this hydrogen bonding lab, I'm going to do a quick tutorial or just a little demo on how to draw a molecule using the Lewis structure drawing, whatever you call this, on Mastering Chemistry. So you can see this is question 1 on the hydrogen bonding lab. And it wants us to, part A says, draw the Lewis structure for this molecule, CH3, CH2, O, CH3. So I'm going to start with this first CH3 group right here. I'm going to come down and click on the carbon because that's the first atom I want to add. So whenever you want to add a particular atom, you click on that atom down here, and then I'm going to click on the screen and a carbon shows up. Now I want to attach this carbon to 3 hydrogens. So I'm going to click on this line right here. It says single bond. Click on that, and then I'm going to come down here and click on the hydrogen. Now when I go to click on the screen, it will add a hydrogen, but here's the easiest way I found to do it. Click on the carbon. You'll see it turn into a little hand, your cursor. Click down and hold, and then while you're holding, extend a line however far you want. It doesn't have to be very far. And then unclick, release the click on your mouse or on your finger pad if you have a Mac, and it will add a single bond to a hydrogen. I need 3 hydrogens attached to this carbon, so I'm going to again turn my cursor into a finger or a hand over the carbon. Now I'm going to click down, and while I'm clicking, I'm going to drag over to the left, and I have created another single bond with a hydrogen. Lastly, I'm going to do one more. Again, hover over the carbon, click down, hold, drag downward, and you've created a third bond to a hydrogen. So now we have created this CH3 group. Next, I'm going to move on to the CH2 group. So I need to add another. I need to connect this initial carbon to the second carbon. So I'm going to go down here where my letters are, and I'm going to click on carbon. Again, I'm going to hover over this first carbon. When my cursor is a hand, I'll click down, drag over to the right, and now I've created a single bond to a carbon. Okay, so then you can continue like we did, add 2 more single hydrogen bonds. So let's do that. Click on the hydrogen, click and drag up, click and drag down. Now I've got a CH3 group, I've got a CH2 group. Next is an oxygen. So I'm going to go down here, click on oxygen, click on the carbon, drag over. Now I've got a single bond to an oxygen. Lastly, I'm going to connect this oxygen to the last carbon, which is going to be my final CH3 group. So go down, click on carbon, hover over oxygen, drag to the right, create your last oxygen-carbon bond. Now go down, click on hydrogen. Let's add our 3 hydrogen single bonds to that last carbon. So now I have all my atoms represented. The one thing I'm missing is lone pairs on this oxygen. So I'm going to add 2 lone pairs. To add a lone pair, come down here and click on this double dot. It says paired electrons. So that's a lone pair. So we'll click on it. Let's say I accidentally clicked on this hydrogen and put a lone pair on the hydrogen. If you want to undo something you did, you can click right here, undo, because I don't want them on hydrogen. So I'm going to click once on oxygen. There's 1 lone pair. Click on oxygen again. There's a second lone pair. And for this structure, that's it. Okay. Now, I don't know if it asks you on this particular question, question 1, it does not ask you to draw in, I don't think, water molecules. But I know on a later question it does. So if I were going to draw in water molecules, considering what you should know about hydrogen bonds and donors and acceptors, what I instructed through the email yesterday, was that you do not need to draw any more bonds here. You just need to draw a water molecule in so that the donors of the water molecule are near the acceptors on your molecule, which is what we've already drawn, and vice versa. So I know a donor is a hydrogen, So I'm going to draw in, first take off this paired electrons, de-click it. So click it again, it will not be highlighted green anymore. Now the only thing that's highlighted green is a hydrogen atom, which is what I want to add. It's a donor, so I'm going to just place it near, right there, that's near enough. Here's my acceptor, the lone pair. It's near an acceptor on my molecule, and then I'm going to make a single bond, so come click it, to oxygen. Hover over the hydrogen, drag down, there's a single bond to oxygen. Lastly, we need one more hydrogen for this to be a complete water molecule. So there's the finish of the water molecule, but I need 2 lone pairs on my oxygen, so double click those lone pairs onto your oxygen. Now I have a water molecule sitting near this acceptor on my molecule, and the donor, which is the positively polarized hydrogen, is near the lone pair, which is the acceptor of my molecule, and that indicates that there would be a hydrogen bond between the two. I don't need to add any bonds, draw any lines, nothing like that. This is good enough, and the Mastering Chemistry software should accept that if you draw it correctly when you go to add hydrogen molecules in and show hydrogen bonds on your molecule. Okay, so I hope that helps. If you have any other questions, let me know.